for the money. Yeah, they talking about we ain't got them motherfucking bags, boy.
Hi guys, welcome back to Money Medics. As you can see, it's only me, no Nick, no Eve, and that is how it should have been from the beginning, but you know, circumstances haven't always permitted. So today I'm going to be talking about how I bought my house. So when did I decide to buy my house? So way back when I was in uni, I've always wanted to get into property, but I didn't really get serious up until my pre-reg, which was in 2015. So I got about, similar to Eve, I'm a pharmacist by the way, I got about 18,500, so I was putting away roughly about £800 a month. So I was doing that, and I was kind of in talks with Nick that, oh, maybe we should, you know, get a property together and, you know, do the whole property business thing. So fast forward to the end of 2015, you know, Eve came into Nick's life, and I think Nick must have turned around and said, oh, I'm going to buy a house now. And I was just like, what about me? And he was like, you know, and I was like, oh, okay. So that means I'm going to have to do it by myself. Did my pre-reg, qualified, and that takes me up till 2016 when I got my first proper job. And I was kind of like looking in regards to where I wanted to live, how much I would need, and I kind of realised that I needed to be putting away more money, so that's what I did as well. And then I actually realised that I needed a new job because the money that I was making from my current job wouldn't be enough to get the mortgage that I wanted. So what I did, I spoke to a mortgage broker. He kind of gave me advice in regards to like cleaning up my credit, depending on how much money my new job would make, how much they'd be willing to lend to me. So I kind of put all those actions into place. Let's fast forward. I was around my friend's house, Katrina, and I think I was leaving her place and I noticed that there was a sign for a new property, and I was like, oh my god, this is the property that I want. So I'm just going to wait for them to release the property prices. So we're going to fast forward to about February 2018. They released the prices, and I was just praying to God that it wouldn't be too expensive, because my budget was roughly about £220,000. So that was the most that I wanted to pay. The property prices came out and they were pretty decent. I think they were ranging from about £220,000 all the way up to 250, 260. So I just went along to the open day to see if I could secure one. So I went there, and basically it was like a ticketing system, so it was literally first come, first serve. And I basically wanted to use the Help to Buy scheme, and that means the amount of Help to Buy properties were even more limited. So I must have got there a little bit late, and I was number 35, and literally I was just in a long queue, and literally I could just see as one person would go into the tent to speak to the developer, they were just crossing out house by house by house. So it was so tense. I literally had my list of all the properties that I wanted and that I could afford, and I was just slowly crossing them off as time went by, because obviously other people were buying it. So I kind of got fed up, and then my mum said that, oh, let's go and get something to eat, that they're going to call your number soon. So I went to go and get something to eat. Lo and behold, I came back and I'd missed my number, and all the properties were sold. I was literally distraught, literally heartbroken. But my mum said, you know what, just go speak to the developer anyway and see what they can offer you. So went to go and speak to them. Obviously there were no more Help to Buy properties left, so I kind of had to go with like a regular mortgage, which was about which was a normal 10% deposit. But then all in all, that would have been too expensive, so I kind of had to back out of it. So during the week, someone told me, oh, just call up the developer, see if anyone had dropped out for the Help to Buy properties. So I did that, and fortunately they had made some sort of mistake, and there was actually one left, and the one that was left was actually the one that I wanted. It was within my price range, and it was a really good size. So I did that, paid my reservation fee, and that was that. Obviously the next hurdle was to get the mortgage. After going back and forth with the mortgage broker and the different lenders, I finally got a mortgage in principle, and I kind of left that. So I had to wait another about 4 to 5 months to put in an actual mortgage application, because with Help to Buy properties you can't put in a mortgage application until 6 months prior to completion date. So obviously during that time, what I was doing, I was making sure that my credit was squeaky clean. Obviously I was getting all my information ready, such as my pay slips, making sure that my cash flow and my bank statements were consistent, so that when I finally did do my application, I would get the best mortgage possible. So putting my mortgage application in June, it took a month for me to get a response, and I ended up going in with a really good lender. How long did it take me to save towards my house? Do you know what, it didn't really take me that long. I'd probably say it took me about a year, about a year or so, but obviously I had to wait to get the salary that I needed to be able to put in for the mortgage application, so it was a little bit complicated. What things contributed to being able to save towards, so what I did, I made sure that I literally cut down my costs. Stuff like hair extensions, shopping, holidays that didn't exist. I really literally skimmed down my expenses. Like if I was to show you my budget, there's I don't pay for any more than 12 things at a time. So for example, I make sure I only pay for my phone bill, I pay for my insurance, pay for my laptop, I've got other, subscriptions such as, actually I don't pay for Netflix, I pay for Spotify. I like to get a monthly travel card, and I like to do that because it kind of helps me to manage my cash flow. Okay, so basically, during my pre-reg, because I really wanted to make sure that I was able to save for the house, what I actually did was that I had a little bit of money left over from when I was working in uni, so I bought like an annual travel card, which was so expensive. It was so painful when the money left my account, but it literally meant that the only thing I had to pay for was food. So I would get paid post-tax maybe about 1,300, and I was literally putting away £1,000 every month. I would draw cash for like my weekly food at work, and then I have a set budget for like how much I spend when I'm going out to eat. I have 3 different bank accounts. So I have one bank account where all my bills come out of. I have one bank account which is like where I have my enjoyment, and then I have one bank account where I keep like my emergency cash. Any money outside of that, I move them into my investment accounts, so I don't have, so literally I have no access to it, I can't touch it. So I have to stay literally within my budget. So I usually, the only card I take out with me is my enjoyment card. All the other cards stay at home just to make sure that I'm not spending too much money. And I literally go through my budget. Every time I get paid, I'll spend a couple of hours and I'll go through my budget so that I'm able to account for every single pound. So if you were literally to ask me how much do I spend on this, that, I'll be able to tell you. What obstacles did I face? The obstacles I faced was actually my credit. So I used to pay for my sister's phone bill, and something happened and basically I defaulted on the phone bill. And some lenders, the moment they see a default, like even if the default is £2, they literally will not lend to you. So obviously it was a bit crazy in that sense. So I really had to go back and forth the mortgage brokers kept on going back and forth until they could find me a good lender. In regards to how much my deposit was 11,500, but then I paid a £1,000 reservation fee, so technically I only had to pay 10,500. So that's how much I paid. And obviously there was other fees associated with it, so obviously I had to pay my mortgage broker, which was roughly about £500. My legal fees, which were over £1,000. And then there were just other fees just to do with like the bank as well. Did I use any government schemes? Yeah, as I said previously, I used a Help to Buy scheme, which means I only had to pay a 5% deposit, and you get a 20% loan from the government, and then you only have to apply for a 75% mortgage from the bank. And the reason why I chose this was because obviously I wanted to make sure that, because I'll be living on my own, I wanted to make sure that the mortgage payments were as affordable as possible. So yeah. Most difficult aspect of the journey, for me, I'd probably say the process. It was really time consuming. Literally from February when I went to go and pick the house up until recently when I've just paid the deposit. It was just time consuming, constantly waiting by the phone, constantly going through your emails, constantly praying that you'd get no rejections or nothing bad has happened, or etc, etc. So I found it quite emotionally draining, and it was it was a bit of a roller coaster for me. Was I able to live my best life? I'd say I'm quite a simple person, so as long as I can still go out to eat and buy food, I'll be happy, and I was able to do that. So that is my story. Hope you enjoyed it.